Hi there, I'm Dr. B, and welcome to the Poor Sleep module. Some people like to take notes as we're going through the course, so if that's you and you haven't printed them out already, I encourage you to take a moment to print out the handouts that go along with this module. This module is going to flow just like the other ones do. First, I'm going to go over the problem that we're seeing, then I'll talk about the reasons for the problem, and then I'll talk about what to do about it. Okay, so with that being said, let's get started. First, I'm going to review some information about the poor sleep that we're seeing in our kids. I'm not going to drown you in research statistics, but I am going to give you a good context for the problem before we move on to the reasons it's a problem and then what to do about it. So blue light. Blue light is a short wavelength light that produces a lot of energy. It occurs naturally from the sun and it helps us regulate our circadian rhythms. Blue light is also emitted from electronic devices in significant amounts, and too much exposure to blue light could result in disrupted sleep. So I want to share a few statistics on sleep deprivation, but also our behavior around our devices and sleep. So 75% of teens and adults sleep with their phone right next to their bed. 89% of 18 to 24-year-olds look at their phone within 15 minutes of waking up, and 74% look at their phone immediately upon opening their eyes. 57% more teens were sleep deprived in 2015 than in 1991. And between 2012 and 2015, 22% more teens failed to get 7 hours of sleep per night. Teens who spend 3 or more hours a day on screens were 28% more likely to get less than 7 hours of sleep per night, and teens who visited social media sites every day were 19% more likely to not get adequate sleep. In a survey by the National Sleep Foundation of 1,103 children and adolescents, it was found that 10% of teens, 19% of preteens, and 69% of children get 9 hours of sleep per night, while 56% of teens and 29% of preteens slept less than 7 hours per night. In a study on 6 to 17-year-olds, it was found that 97% of teens had at least one device in their room at night. Those with any device in their room averaged 42 minutes less sleep per night, and those with smartphones in their room at night averaged 54 minutes less sleep per night. Electronic devices and social media seem to have a unique impact on our sleep compared to older forms of media. Things like books and television don't have the same effect on our sleep that this new media does. Kids who watch a lot of television are able to eventually turn off the TV and go to sleep, whereas it seems kids who are on their smartphones have a much harder time putting down their device. The interactive nature of the smartphone makes it much harder to put down. New media use is both most strongly related to sleep deprivation, and it's the only activity that increased significantly between the years 2012 and 2015. Thus, it appears that smartphones could be the primary cause of this sleep deprivation that we're seeing in our kids. Lack of sleep can have serious consequences. Sleep deprivation is linked to a myriad of issues, including compromised thinking and reasoning, susceptibility to illness, weight gain, and high blood pressure. Sleep deprivation also has a significant impact on mood. People who don't sleep enough are more prone to depression and anxiety, and teens who don't sleep enough are twice as likely to report higher levels of depressive symptoms. Teens who slept less than 7 hours per night are 68% more likely to have at least one risk factor for suicide. Sleep deprivation can have profound effects on mood, and over time, it can spiral into some serious mental health issues. Acute sleep deprivation impairs sustained attention, and poor sleep over time can lead to a rapid decline in brain volume. Just one night of poor sleep can lead to less efficient filtering out of important information from junk and also inefficient visual tracking. both of which can lead an individual to be easily distracted. Adolescents with poor sleep showed less recruitment of their prefrontal cortex during a cognitive task and reduced network communication between the prefrontal cortex and the brain regions that process rewarding experiences. This is then linked to more risky behavior. Sleep-deprived children showed decreased cognitive control, particularly in the areas of attention, impulsivity, and frustration. Sleep deprivation can also affect memory, creativity, judgment, motivation, and being engaged in the classroom. So now that you have a little bit more context around the problem, let's move on to the reasons it's a problem. I'm going to review the following 3 reasons for the poor sleep that we're seeing in our kids. 1 is disrupted circadian rhythms, 2 is light at night, and 3 is how blue light signals wake time. So circadian rhythms are our internal body clocks that dictate our sleep-wake cycles, along with other biological cues like when we're hungry or when we have to go to the bathroom. Our body functions in rhythm with the natural rhythms of the environment, like when the sun sets and the sun rises. Our circadian rhythms respond to these cues in our environment. Artificial blue light from screens disrupt these rhythms when it comes to our sleep cycles. When the brain is exposed to unnaturally bright light of electronic screens, the sleep signal hormone melatonin is suppressed and natural biorhythms are disrupted. These changes in biorhythms and melatonin production result in poor quality sleep because the body doesn't enter into the deeper phases of the sleep cycle as often or as long as is healthy. When restorative sleep is lacking, our brain doesn't function as well, we build muscle tension, and then we feel tired the next day, even if our total sleep time was adequate. Studies show that exposure to screens at night delay sleep onset, suppresses REM sleep, which we need to clean house and solidify our learning, and it prevents the body temperature from dropping to supportive levels for deep sleep. Light at night, which is basically exposing yourself to blue light at night, has effects on sleep, mood, and cognition. It's been associated with poor memory, irritability, and impaired school and work performance. A 2010 study showed that over 50% of children who used electronic media at night suffered from sleep problems at night and mood and cognitive problems during the day. Other studies have linked light at night to depression, suicidality, and low serotonin levels. In addition, studies have shown that light at night is linked to higher nighttime core temperature and heart rate and lower melatonin levels. All of these markers are associated with poor sleep and high levels of stress. Blue light signals wake time, and the blue light is much stronger when we're looking at a small screen close to our face. Screen time within 1 hour of bed is related to fewer nightly hours of sleep and poorer sleep quality. 47% of college students awaken at night to answer a text, 40% awaken at night to answer calls, resulting in about 46 minutes less nightly sleep, which can lead to mental difficulties. Total minutes of nightly bedroom screen interactions were strongly related to sleep problems. Poor executive functioning skills predicts both more smartphone use and poorer sleep quality. Anxiety about missing out predicts more smartphone use and more nighttime awakening, both leading to poorer sleep. Both our inability to make smart nighttime choices around our device use, as well as our anxiety about what we're missing out on while we're sleeping, combine to disrupt our sleep, which then leads to poor thinking skills and more nighttime interruptions, a negative spiral that disrupts mental functioning, including memory. So just a quick recap, I reviewed the following 3 reasons for the poor sleep that we're seeing in our kids. 1 is disrupted circadian rhythms. 2 is light at night, and 3 is how blue light signals wake time. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the what to do about it section. This section covers major concepts for improving your child's sleep. It's not meant to be prescriptive, but it is meant to give you some guidance in terms of your own personal strategies. I'm going to review the following 4 ways to improve your child's sleep. 1 is no interactive devices in the bedroom at night. 2 is starting off the morning right. 3 is how to handle resistance. And 4 is establishing a good bedtime routine. So parents, I can't stress this enough. This one small change of no interactive devices in the bedroom at night could actually change the trajectory of your child's mental health, physical health, and overall well-being. This one small change is so important when it comes to protecting your child's sleep, okay? So I strongly encourage you to not allow your child to have their smartphone or any other interactive device in their bedroom at night. Actually, I strongly encourage you to do the same. Do this as a household. Designate an area in your home where the phones can go for the night. You might even consider locking them up. I've had several instances where, clients that I'm working with, we talk about, no more smartphone in the bedroom at night. The parents agree. The parents also agree to not have their smartphone in the bedroom at night. They put the smartphones in the designated area. Next thing you know, 1 o'clock in the morning, the teen comes out because they can't sleep. They grab their smartphone. Next thing you know, they're on their smartphone till 3 o'clock in the morning. So you want to make sure that wherever you put the phones, it's in a place that it's not easily accessible to your teen. You want to set a routine for when you go off your smartphone or interactive devices for the night. So for younger kids, it might be around 6 o'clock, to give them some good time before bedtime without electronic devices so that their body can start to get ready for sleep. For older kids and adults, it might be around 8 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock, depending on what time your bedtime is. You want to give yourself, at least an hour to 2 hours of no interactive screen time or device use or smartphone use before bed. So if you're taking the smartphone away at night and your child's not allowed to sleep with their smartphone in their room, you want to make sure that you establish a firm time when your kid can have their phone back in the morning, right? Because the next thing you know is if you don't establish this time, your teen who you can never wake up for school all of a sudden is waking up at 5 o'clock, grabbing their phone and catching up on everything that they missed while they were asleep, okay? So you want to establish a time in the morning when they can have their smartphone back. And you might even use getting their smartphone back as a reward for completing their morning routine. So maybe it's after they make their bed, eat their breakfast, get ready for school, then they can have their smartphone back. Now, when it comes to resistance, if your child has been sleeping with their smartphone in their bedroom, you might experience some resistance when you tell them that they're no longer allowed to have their smartphone in their bedroom at night. So if you experience resistance, you want to make sure that you tell your child that, you're in the same boat, that you are going to honor the same restrictions that you're asking them to honor, that you are not sleeping with your smartphone in your room, and that you won't get your smartphone back either until around the same time that they get their smartphone back in the morning. You want to let them know that you're honoring these same routines as you're asking them to do. Okay, you want to reiterate with them the importance of sleep when it comes to physical and mental health, and you really want to educate them on the effects of blue light on their sleep quality and the amount of sleep that they're getting, and how the blue light can disrupt, the melatonin that gets released that allows them to fall into a deep sleep so that they get good quality sleep at night. So again, when you're met with resistance, you really want to educate your child on the reasons why you're making these changes so that they understand, how their smartphones are affecting their sleep and really how important sleep is to overall health and well-being. The last thing I'm going to talk about is establishing a bedtime routine. So, when our kids are young, we tend to do this for them, right? Like we give them a bath, we brush their teeth, we read them a story. We establish these routines that provide them with environmental cues that sleep time is coming, right? But as our kids get older, sometimes these bedtime routines can fall to the wayside, or, they're getting themselves ready for bed and they're maybe doing something different every night. And so they don't have like a good routine where their body recognizes that, they're getting ready or it's getting close to sleep time. Okay. So you want to help them establish a good bedtime routine, and you want them to engage in this routine every night. Again, by engaging in the routine every night, it conditions the body to recognize these certain environmental cues that indicates that sleep time is coming. Okay? So, when considering their bedtime routine, you want to encourage them to take part in some self-soothing activities. Again, like things that help them relax and give their body cues that they're getting ready for sleep. So, a bedtime routine can be something as simple as maybe, they wash their face, they brush their teeth, and they read a book for a half hour. Or they take a shower and then maybe they watch a television show for a half hour. But you want to make sure that the television show isn't too exciting, something pretty neutral that they can watch before bed and they can relax, and then it indicates to their body that they're getting ready for sleep. If your child has a particularly hard time falling asleep, maybe it's, they wash their face, they brush their teeth, and maybe they do some, relaxation exercises or breathing exercises just to help them bring their body into a state of relaxation. Okay. So just a quick recap, I reviewed the following 4 ways of improving sleep. 1 is no interactive devices in the bedroom at night. 2 is starting off the morning right. 3 is how to handle resistance around smartphones and sleep. And 4 is establishing a good bedtime routine. So that is the module on poor sleep. I congratulate you for your commitment to learning this information. Until next time, I'm Dr. B, signing off.